the second last video in this series. Today we're talking about numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4 fantastic games. Probably not a lot of big surprise on my side. Or maybe not. Let's get to the games and see. We're going to do 4 of Melody's and 4 of mine.
Number 5! Wits and Wagers Family.
In Wits and Wagers Junior, each turn of the game, you ask a question. For example here, what percent of U.S. girls ages 6 to 9 say they have used lip gloss or lipstick? Each player then will take a board and they'll write their answer on the board. This board already has the 1 on it. And then you put the boards in order from highest to lowest. So we have 1, 10, 42, 56, and 60. And then players will take little meeples that they have and they will place them on the answers that they think are correct. So you have a big one and a small one. You put the big one on the one that you really think is the right answer and the small one on a different one. And after everyone's done placing them, we then say the answer. In this case, the answer is 55%. Now, even though 56 is the closest answer, the correct answer is the closest to without going over. In this instance, it's 50. So the person who guessed the correct answer here, the pink player, gets points. Also, anyone who put a meeple on it also gets points. So even if you think you have the wrong answer, you don't know anything about the question, you might say, well, Melody wrote that one. I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to bid on her answer. Person with the most points is the winner.
I like this game because sometimes you do need luck and because you might not know anything about the question and you write down a crazy answer. Like when I guessed 200 for a Webkinz question and the answer was 201, I got lucky there. And sometimes answers are way off track or way close or even the perfect answer. And it's a fun game to play. Ticket to Ride.
What more can we say about Ticket to Ride that hasn't already been said? Ticket to Ride is an absolutely great game. It's my wife's favorite game. It's a game that when people come to me and they say, hey, you want to play, what are all these games? What's a good game? What game would you recommend that I play? Right here. Ticket to Ride. This is the game that I think people should play. It's very simple to play. The idea is very, you're connecting trains. Now, for those of you who are watching, I have multiple copies of Ticket to Ride. I got the Switzerland copy. I got the Nordic countries. I got Markland. I got Ticket to Ride Europe. And I am cheating here a bit because I'm combining all of them together in this one entry. If you force me to keep only one, I would probably have a hard time choosing between the original version and Markland, the German version, because the German version has the most strategy, while the US one, well, I'm just very comfortable with the geography. I would have liked to see a new Ticket to Ride expansion, but still, as it is, there's tons of these. It's fun to play online. It's fun to play in person. Ticket to Ride.
Number 4, The Adventurers.
In The Adventurers, each player controls an adventurer who's kind of like an Indiana Jones style character and they are starting in this tunnel and they are coming through. First they come through this area where the walls can close and get you if you're not careful. Then perhaps hopping across lava, looking for treasures, maybe going into a river, running across a bridge which can collapse on you, and finding different cards that have different treasures on them as you go throughout the game. Meanwhile, yeah, Melody's right, this boulder is rolling down the whole thing, chasing you. It's kind of like a time thing, so that's actually pretty cool. But that's basically the extent of it. You're going through this, you can take your time and go slow and get more treasure, but the chance of you dying from the boulder or something else is much higher when that happens.
The Adventures is a fun game to me because you're like in an adventure and you're going around the track trying to get out of the cave, getting as much treasure as you can while you're going. And it's the being killed is really high, and even though my first character never died because I was careful, like my dad, he was always trying to be brave and going around doing dumb things and like jumping on the bridge. Well, I like this game because it's fun and adventurous. Dominion.
When it comes to games that are both on my list and Melody's list, this is not even the highest one yet, but this is just a game that I just love. If I pick the game that I played the most this year, Dominion wins hands down. I have the whole game plus all 4 expansions so far in this one box, which is a pretty hefty undertaking that barely fits in there. But Dominion is a deck building game. It was the first. There are many others now, and I like Dominion. But, you know, even with all the other ones coming by, it's still my favorite. Some of the other ones, they might overshadow it at some point. And there are some that are pretty good, but Dominion just keeps coming out with expansion after expansion. The newest expansion, Prosperity, kicks Dominion up to an 11. It's just, it's wonderful. A simple game that I can play with everybody. I can play a 2-player game with my wife. I can play a 4-player game with other people. You can play more than that, but you're crazy if you do. But Dominion just works well because the idea is so simple. We all start the same. Every time it's different. There's 10 different decks, and if you've noticed in my top 10, the big thing that we have here is variety. We love to play with different things, so Dominion wins that. Maybe a simple card game, but innovative, probably the most innovative game in the last 10 years. We're going to be seeing it changing games as we go by. Its granddaddy Magic the Gathering certainly influenced it, but Dominion is just a simple game. If you haven't tried it out before, I urge you to give it a try. Lots of fun.
Number 3, Tales of Arabian Nights.
In Tales of Arabian Nights, you will have someone like, for example, Aladdin here, and you're moving around from city to city, and as you go from these different cities to other cities, you're going to encounter different things. Maybe you'll encounter the pavilion of the Black Giant, or maybe you'll just encounter a sage. How you deal with each of those encounters is looked at by a board here. You'll see what letter the encounter says, and then I look here. Here I can grovel, converse, trick, bargain, attack, flee, or avoid. I say which one I'm going to do. I look at a giant chart, or someone else does, to see what number. And then we take this big book of tales. Someone else finds that number, and they'll read the story there. If I have different skills, different things might happen. Sometimes it gives you a choice of what to do. And eventually it gives you story points, or will give you some kind of status. Like, for example, you might become respected. Well, that happens occasionally. Or you might become imprisoned. Or you might go insane. Or you might become love-struck. Or you might get married. Oh, there's all kinds of things happen in this game. Most of what happens in the Tales of the Arabian Nights happens in this game somehow, somewhere. There's not a whole lot of strategy, but you do try to do the best thing you can, or sometimes the worst thing you can, and see what crazy story you can come up with as you play the game.
I like this game because it's a story game and it feels like you're in a storybook doing different things. And each time when you play the game, it's always a different game. I have never heard a story told twice. In this game, you can also die a couple times, like my mother did twice, by falling off a flying horse and being eaten by a giant. And it was funny, but to my mom, she was just surprised, and it is fun, and this game is a fun adventure story game. Duel of Ages.
If you've watched my top 10 lists, top 100 list, this may come as a surprise because for the past, well, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, Duel of Ages has been my favorite game. Don't go screaming and jumping off the railings yet. It's moved to number 3. I still love the game. The only reason it dropped down a little bit is I think just because I play my number 1 and 2 games so very much, they've gone up. Duel of Ages hasn't gone down. And when Duel of Ages 2.0 comes out, and keep your eye on it because it could happen, watch this space for more details. Anyway, it's still a great game. Duel of Ages introduced to me the idea of taking everything from Magic the Gathering and taking everything from Advanced Squad Leader, adding expansion after expansion. If you like variety, then this game is one of the granddaddies of it all. As I've been saying time and time again, as we go through this top 100, and especially the top 10, variety is one of the things I absolutely adore about a game, and it's here in this one. Theme is one of those things that I love about a game, and it's here in this game. Silliness is something I like about a game, and it's here in this game. Strategy is something I like, and it's here in this game. All of it in, well, not everything's in this box. I have several other boxes where everything is put together, but Duel of Ages just fits together and fits well. So my number 3 game is Duel of Ages. Not because it's terrible has it dropped down, but because the other 2 games are that good. What are those games? Stay tuned, let's look at them.
Number 2! Nuns on the Run.
In Nuns on the Run, most of the players are going to play novices who start in their room, but are running around this building at night trying to get us something they want, like maybe a letter or some medicine to help them sleep or what have you. They're trying to find something they're not supposed to be, because these two beautiful ladies are going to be running around. We got the Skinny Minnie and Bertha. Both of them are walking around the board on marked paths, although they can deviate from that if they hear or see one of the novices. Each of the player who's playing will keep track of where they go on these sheets of paper, showing if they're walking or running or standing still, and eventually they will either get their item and get back to the room, or they're caught and sent back to the room. If the person playing these folks captures novices enough times, they win, depends on the number of players. Otherwise, the first novice to get their item and back to their room is the winner. The board looks a little bit like Scotland Yard, and there's lots of different places to run and hide, and eventually someone's going to win in this game of hide and seek.
This is my number 2 game because I really like it. I like it because it actually makes me sweat whenever the nuns are near me. And I always try to keep my mouth shut so they don't know if I'm near or not. So it's fun. It actually gives me feelings, and it's kind of scary. And when you run around to get your stuff, it's fun to run and hide. Number 2, HeroScape.
My number 2 game, as you've seen, is HeroScape. HeroScape, you know, it beats out Duel of Ages. I mean, I love Duel of Ages, don't get me wrong, but the reason HeroScape rises above is because I just love the way HeroScape looks. I love the terrain. I love building it. HeroScape has these terrain pieces which are quite durable, but at the same time you can stack them and make mountains, and there's so much. I've done a 5-video series on HeroScape. You can check that out and see more about the game itself. But there's so many characters and so much involved. Unfortunately, it just went out of print. You can still get it. Wizards of the Coast is discontinuing it. Hopefully another company will pick it up, but I doubt that will happen. But it doesn't matter because there's so much to play with it, so much fun that you can have. The kids and everyone who plays it gets a kick out of building it and then playing with it, and the variety is endless. The idea of different people fighting each other across time and space, whether you're using Vikings or Iroquois Indians or robots from the future, against a dinosaur, against goblins. There's just so much involved in the game. Spider-Man makes an entrance. You know, it's just neat. And so, easily for me, number 2 is HeroScape. Whew. One more game to go. In our next video, we'll tell you about our favorite game, which obviously isn't any of the ones that we've said so far. And I guess some of you may have figured it out already. But I'll tell you this. We love all these games. These games are a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of fun building these videos. If you like watching them, click the advertising links, I guess, or go out and buy them yourselves. If you go to our website at www.thedicetower.com, we have links where you can buy most of the games, although some of the games are out of print, and I understand that. But the majority of the games that we talked about still are in print, or at least can be found fairly easily. So get them, buy them, play them yourself. Well, one more video, our favorite game ever. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Melody.
Woohoo!
Tune into our next show for more Top 10 gaming goodness, or check out our website at www.thedicetower.com for more reviews and Top 10 lists. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.